Help support AMTV by becoming a patron, an AMTV staff member, and following us over on Twitter. Hi there guys, it's Adam Martin here, and welcome back to another instalment of the Now Review. We're going with a party theme, as you can see, a theme which Now is no stranger to, so join me as we delve into, now that's what I call a massive party. So just looking at this front cover, we've got a nice mix of reds, of purples, of pinks and blues. Really, fun, vibrant themes, make sense for a party. You've got golden balloons flying everywhere, lots of confetti. You've got a lovely tiled dance floor, that's what I like to see, full of multicolours. And you've got the pig up there, the unofficial/official Now mascot who keeps popping up with his little party hat on, his shades on because he's a cool dude, and he's on a mixing desk because, of course, he's a DJ. What do you expect? I actually really like this front cover. It's just so, bonkers and fun. It does make me feel, positive in, a party spirit, so I'm happy it's like this. Now, as I said, Now is no stranger to the theme of a party. We've had Now That's What I Call a Party, party hits, party anthems. I'm pretty sure we've had a Now 100 Hits party. There's lots of party albums out there. They're not in short supply. So hopefully this one can do maybe something different or vary it up a bit. We'll see. We'll have a look at that all-important track list. So starting off with CD1, you have Dancing Queen by ABBA. I mean, yeah, that is a party anthem or massive party hit if I ever heard one. The Grease Megamix, which was popularised in the 90s, I think. Again, another dance floor classic. The YMCA by the Village People. You can't go wrong with a bit of disco. The Megamix by Boney M. I've not heard that Megamix. I'm assuming it includes what were their biggest hits, like Rivers of Babylon, Rasputin. Lots of good songs. You have I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor. Again, disc one seems to be going for a very 70s theme, very disco. You have Hot Stuff by Donna Summer. Tragedy by Steps, which of course is a cover of the Bee Gees original, but the Steps one I think is arguably more popular or even better remembered. Better the Devil You Know by Kylie Minogue, one of her best songs in my opinion, dance floor classic. Jumping over to CD2 briefly, you have Say 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 by Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson. Really fun song from the early 80s there. Ghostbusters by Ray Parker Jr. I don't know if I put it on a massive party album, but hey, it's here. Come On Eileen by Dexy's Midnight Runners, that I would put on a massive party album. Don't You Want Me by The Human League, Tainted Love by Soft Cell, great 80s hits here. Get On Your Feet by Gloria Estefan, I might have put Rhythm Is Gonna Get You there instead. On the Floor by Jennifer Lopez, one of the big hits of the early 2010s. Livin' La Vida Loca by Ricky Martin, again, it's cheesy, but it's a dance floor classic. You Can Call Me Al by Paul Simon. That does get people dancing, that's for sure. So CD1, the first half, it seems very 70s, and then dips a bit into the 90s with Kylie Minogue and Steps. And then CD2's like the 80s going into the 2000s and 2010s, so we seem to be era hopping a little bit. So back to CD1, you have It's Raining Men by the Weather Girls. Call it what you like, but it's an absolute classic in my opinion. You Spin Me Round Like a Record, Dead or Alive. Again, very iconic song for various reasons. Relax by Frankie Goes to Hollywood, one of my favourite songs of the 1980s. Jackie by Mark Almond. I'm not as familiar with that one. Is it a massive party one, would you say? You've got The Time Warp by Damien. If that's based off the Rocky Horror one, absolutely. You have Relight My Fire by Take That, which again was a big hit for them. Night Fever by Adam Garcia and various artists. Oh, okay, is that the Adam Garcia? Is that the stage version of Saturday Night Fever, not the Bee Gees? If so, interesting choice. Love Shack by the B-52s, again one of those cheesy ones where it's become cheesy, but it gets people up, doesn't it? Jump into CD2, you have The One and Only by Chesney Hawkes, which, bless him, is his one and only hit. Again, massive party, though. I don't know, Stars on 45 with Stars on 45. Great song there. Suspicious Minds, nice to have a bit of Elvis on here, and yeah, probably one of his most, dance floor Philly ones. We're going to Rock Around the Clock, Bill Haley and his Comets. So, oh wow, we're really going back now to the 50s almost. Let's Twist Again, Chubby Checker. But yeah, that is, a great party song. Always has been, always will be. Dancing Party by Shawaddy Waddy. Not as familiar with that one myself. I think Under the Moon of Love might have been a better choice, personally. This Old House by Shakin' Stevens. I'm not a big Shaky fan, guys, I'll be real with you. But I know a lot of people who certainly are. Do Ron Ron with the Crystals. Again, sort of bundled in with 60s cheese, but a fun song at the very least. We can all agree on that, right? Just finishing off CD1 then, you have Laura Branigan with Gloria. You have Dreaming by Blondie, which is one of my favourite Blondie songs. The Shoop Shoop song, great song by Cher there. Hooked on Classics, Louis Clark conducting the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. Don't really know that track. I'd be interested to hear that one, actually. But that, in fact, rounds off CD 1 with 20 tracks. Finishing off the rest of CD 2, you have Dancing in the Street, Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, great 60s song. Baby Love by the Supremes, we're getting all the Motown stuff now. I Can't Help Myself, Sugar Pie, Honey Bunch by the Four Tops. And For Once in My Life by Stevie Wonder, closing off CD2 at 21 tracks. I'm surprised they didn't put Suspicions on there. I'd argue that's more of a Stevie, or Signed, Sealed, Delivered. I'd argue they were bigger, massive party hits than For Once in My Life. So, interesting choice. So jump into CD3 then. We've got Yes Sir, I Can Boogie by Baccarat. Again, another disco classic. As Is Le Freak by Chic. Nice rhyming there. Lost in Music by Sister Sledge. Not too familiar with that one myself. I'd probably know it if I heard it. September by Earth, Wind and Fire. Do you remember? Of course I remember. December 1963, Oh What a Night by Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Young Hearts Run Free by Candy Station. A song there. Singing in the Rain by Sheila and B Devotion. I take it that was the modern like dance remix one, I guess. Can't Stop the Music by the Village People. Nice to see them pop up again. I'm more familiar with In the Navy instead of Can't Stop the Music, but maybe I'd have to give that one another listen. Just jump into CD4. That kicks off with You Gotta Fight for Your Right to Party by the Beastie Boys. Certainly one of their best hits, or their earliest hit, I think. Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi. Yeah, that's a massive party classic. Glad to see that's there. Walk This Way by Run DMC and Aerosmith. I always prefer It's Tricky with Run DMC, but hey, I'll take Walk This Way. One Way or Another, Teenage Kicks by One Direction. Out of all their hits, like, yeah, this one works, but could you have picked better ones? I don't know. So What by Pink, one of my favourite songs of hers. That song was so big when it came out in 2008. I remember it stormed everything. Pump It by the Black Eyed Peas, one of their best songs for sure. Save Your Tears, bringing it right to 2020 or 2021 with The Weeknd and Ariana Grande. Great tune though. Dance Monkey, this song, it winds me up the wrong way, unfortunately, so I'll pass. And Physical by Dua Lipa, certainly one of her best songs that I've heard. So back to CD3, you've got Feels Like I'm in Love by Kelly Marie. I love this song. I know it's like very early 80s, late 70s disco, but it makes me smile a lot. I'm in the Mood for Dancing by the Nolans, again, bit of cheese, but it does get people up, I won't deny. Got a Feeling by Patrick Jouvette, not too familiar with that one. I am familiar with Celebration by Kool and the Gang, always gets played, doesn't it? Come On Feel the Noise, great Slade song, which isn't their Christmas song, of course. Devilgate Drive, Suzi Quatro, great song from the 70s of like the glam rock era, if you like. Ballroom Blitz by Sweet, one of their best songs in my opinion, great tune. See My Baby Jive by Wizard, I'm not so familiar with that one, obviously more familiar with their Christmas hit. And Tiger Feet by Mud, this gets played a lot, but I find it really like, not uninspiring, it's not a dancey one for me, so sorry fans of Mud. Back to CD4, you have Friday, the Dopamine re-edit by Right On Nightcrawler's Feet, Mufasa, and Hype Man. Wow, that's a lot of names in there, a lot of references. Yeah, this song's alright, more of a modern hit. Head and Heart by Joel Corry and MK. Yeah, great tune, still good. I play it a lot. It's just got a good beat, man, good structure. Promises by Calvin Harris and Sam Smith. Not my favourite of Calvin's songs or collaborations, but hey, it's here. Nothing Breaks Like a Heart, Mark Ronson and Miley Cyrus. We're really getting some modern stuff, aren't we? Decent collab there. Man, I Feel Like a Woman, back to the 90s for Shania Twain, but yes, that always does get played. Stronger by Britney Spears. I've not honestly heard this played at a party myself. It's usually Baby Hit Me One More Time, or Oops I Did It Again, or Toxic, or even Womanizer, so I'm surprised they chose Stronger for this one. Just to get the last songs there of CDs 3 and 4. So CD 3 has Crocodile Rock, Elton John. A very early hit for him, but still a classic. You got the Rubettes with Sugar Baby Love. The Foundations with Build Me Up Buttercup, one of the best songs of the 1960s. Still gets played a lot. Blue Swede with Hooked on a Feeling. Yes, of course. Guardians of the Galaxy, thank you very much. And jump into CD4. Shout Out to My Ex by Little Mix. Probably commercially their biggest or like most successful one. I would have maybe chosen some other Little Mix hits, but alas. S Club 7, with Reach. Yeah, Reach always gets played and it's great. Girls Aloud with their version of Jump. Yeah, that gets played a fair amount. Lady Gaga with The Edge of Glory. I'd argue other Gaga songs get played more at parties, even like Just Dance, Bad Romance, things like that. And finally, Whitney Houston with I Will Always Love You, a remix version. So, yeah, okay, that is your track list. So that is 82 tracks on this 4-disc album, a nice selection there. Yeah, the track list is interesting. You are getting stuff from a lot of different eras, but there doesn't seem to be any cohesion between them. You know, like one disc isn't the 70s, another's the 80s. It's all jumbled up. And I'll get into my thoughts on that in just a sec, but I think we've got to open the album up, as we always do. Oh, look, what's also available. Now that's what I call Christmas, now Disco Classics Boogie Nights, and now that's what I call Eurovision. I'm curious they've advertised the Christmas album. I know it's just come out, but on a massive party album, I'm surprised you chose the Christmas one. You can see the dance floor a bit more. Obviously follow now on all their social medias. And opening it up just to look at the disc designs here. So you've got a orange background with the red balloons for disc 1, a blue background with pink and red balloons for disc 2, a purple background with blue and red balloons for disc 3, and a pink background with orange balloons for disc number 4. So not the worst disc art I've ever seen. I wouldn't necessarily call it a favourite. It comes across as slightly a little bit bland to me, but they are all in these little cardboard sleeves, as we've mentioned. Better for the environment. I know it's not to everyone's taste in terms of storage, but hey, it's the best we're going to get, and I'm all for it. I think I've warmed to it after all this time. So, now that's what I call a massive party. Well, I'm not going to lie, a lot of those songs, and you probably heard me say it as I went through it, are massive bangers. Like, I can't deny that. They have chosen, for the most part, very well. There are some odd selections on there as terms like, are they party hits? Like, you know, Stronger by Britney Spears, for example. I'm not really sure I've heard that played at any party in her catalogue. Some songs where I recognise artist tunes more, like I think The Village People was one, for example, or Shawaddy Waddy. Even the modern stuff, like the Calvin Harris choice, Promises with Sam Smith. I'd argue there are songs that I think are stronger than that from Calvin's lineup, but hey, it's all personal preference. But on the whole, I'd argue, and I think a lot of people would agree, the vast majority of this album are indeed massive party hits. And in terms of jumbling it up, as I said, some people will want consistency, they'll want one disc for a particular decade. I'm kind of okay with it, because at a party, you do jump around. You know, sometimes you'll have 3 tracks from the 1970s, a lot of disco, and then you'll just jump back to the present day. So if that's the vibe they're going for, sort of being like a DJ album that, you know, you don't have to DJ for, then yeah, it does kind of work. So if that was what they were going for, good job, guys. In terms of should you buy it, if you've already got a now party album, if it's any of the past party releases, do check that track list. I know some of them focus on just modern stuff. Some of them do branch back into the past. From memory, I think this is probably the most comprehensive party release in terms of what we've got, hits from various decades, the quality of them. So if you don't own a now party album, I'd recommend this one. But if you already own one, maybe double check the track list, see if it's worth picking up another one. You can get it from all the usual places. HMV is where I got mine. Again, £10 for the spin-off album. I think it's great that they've done that. Great price point, a tenner. So you're getting like over 80 songs, mind you. Great price point. So yeah, HMV, your local independent retailer for records or CDs if you have one. Supermarkets might stock it as well. Or it'll be on online retailers too. But that's all for this installment of the Now Review. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please remember to leave a like on this video and let me know in the comments. Are you going to be picking up Now That's What I Call a Massive Party? Or do you already own a party album? Are you going to skip over it? Let me know in those comments. Subscribe to the channel if you're brand new. We'd love to have you join us here at AMTV. I've been Adam Martin from AMTV, and I'll see you next time. Thank you to our patrons for helping to support the show. And a special thank you to Macra, Hooks Media, Ben Freeman, Ethan Carberry-Holt, Bruce Danton, The Broken Kitsumanoid, Tobos Krotz, Polsky Liz, Globe of Reviews, Trev Hughes, and Kevin Aikman, our AMTV staff members.